Hi, old beaver! Away!
I think if they don't get points this game, they haven't got a chance. Have they? Yo.
Oh, we are live. Sorry, I totally missed the countdown. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to KritzKast. We have more Highlander action for you already. We are into week 3 of ETF2L Premiership. We're on to with the Marmite of maps. I like to call it the Marmite of maps. You either love it or you hate it. It is, of course, CP Steel. We have two big teams. I'm going to still call them big teams who've had kind of differing fortunes in the open couple of weeks. In one corner, we have the mighty Tourettes Chessclub, one of the most successful Highlander teams of all time. Twice Prem winners and, of course, land champions a couple of years ago. However, their season has been a bit rocky so far, losing the first 2 officials against the newly promoted teams. Coming up against them is Feila eSports off the back of their UGC Platinum Grand Final win on Monday. Take their maiden UGC title. They're back into ETF2L to see if they can continue their good form, where they have beaten Envision. Did they beat Envision? They didn't beat Envision. They beat Lucrosa. Totally mistake there. But they lost to SCCK in week 1. So both teams not full points, but Feila probably happier with their results so far. We're going to be seeing them in week 3 to see which team can actually put one foot into the playoffs. I'm CeeJaey. Joining me is Chando and Wiethoofd. Chando, how's it going, man?
Yeah, not too bad at all. I love casting this map a lot. Always some wacky stuff comes out. Either some really sort of quick games, which is kind of interesting to see if like a team can pull off like a really nice 3-4 minute cap, or sometimes you get these like really difficult stalemates that you get to see some brilliant sort of picks to try and kickstart the push. So the game can really go either way. You can get some long ones, some short ones, and yeah, I mean, I love this map. I love casting. I love playing it. So pretty excited.
Yeah, it's such a different map. I mean, I do have to applaud the admin decision this season that they have mixed up the maps a little bit, and we now have 2 more maps added in, removing Borneo. So Borneo, like I did like the map Borneo, nothing against the map, but there were 3 payload maps, and there was a very limited selection of other maps in the map pool. But they removed Borneo, they added Coal Plant and Process back in. They were in there, I think back season 11 was the last time they were in. So we've kind of had that switch around, but we've kept CP Steel. It is the attack defense map, and it's so different from everything else. We talk about King of the Hill and 5CP being the deathmatch maps, you know, and payload maps being kind of the default Highlander maps, whereas Steel is just, you have to play as a team, you have to play in these units, your flank has to be coordinated, your combo has to be working with them, but also without them. And it's always a map that we talk about, you know, sometimes the minnows, the underdogs can come in with the victory, and the stronger team or the more organized team is going to be the one that win, not necessarily the one with the better deathmatch. So I think that kind of sets us up appropriately with these 2 teams, don't you?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it really gives either team an equal chance when stepping into this. So I think Tourettes Chessclub going to be eager to try and get some points into their 3rd week. So it's going to mean a lot trying to get some points off Feila. They're I'd say in the top 3 at the moment for this current season. So there's going to be a lot of potential for them to claw some points back, and this is the map to do it, especially if they are the underdogs. And I'd personally pit them there, not by a huge amount, but just considering how they've started their season compared to Feila, only losing points to SCCK, who are the current one of the current champions, or one of the top teams this season. So yeah, I think there's a lot of potential for DC to get some points back and maybe finally get back and roll to achieving the playoffs that I'm sure they want.
Absolutely. I'm not sure if we're able to get a graphic of the table at the moment, but it's only been 2 weeks. And at the moment, Strong Opinions are the only team with 2 wins out of 2, but we both have SCCK and Feila creeping up behind with 6 points. So points here against Chess would be a big boost for Feila. You could argue that they played against 2 of the bigger names already in the league, and if they're in the playoff positions at that point, then that's a really big step for them, because only the top 3 teams go through. And they have had a strong start to the season. They've had some good scrim results, and they performed well against SCCK, even though they did lose that 6-0. And they were very strong in their second game. But we can take a look at their roster, because they do actually have 9 in the server already. We kind of talk about a couple of changes, it seems. So starting off on Scout, we have Crayon, probably more well known for his stint as Low Panda's medic in 6s. On Soldier is included middle. He was, of course, runner-up for the debut of the season, as also the Soldier of the season last year. Or last season, I should say. Pyro is Streno 8. Demo is, of course, Joe. On Heavy is going to be Poker, the former Kitty Heavy from Prem last season. Engineer is Zamperoni, returning. Medic is, of course, the other half of the Highlander power couple. It is Layla. On Engineer, sorry, we talked about Engineer, I can't even do the rosters right, Chando. On Sniper, we have Cloudy, 3-time Prem champion. And on Spy, we have Mick Nando, who's played for a number of different teams, including Bureau and I think SDCK as well. He's playing tonight on Spy, it seems. Normally, we have Mezzo playing Spy for Feila. He was unwell earlier on in the week and was unable to play the UGC Grand Final. So I'm not sure if that's what's causing him to not be able to play here tonight. But still, I mean, 8 out of the 9 first teamers, Chando. I mean, who do you see as kind of the biggest threat or the biggest kind of potential on that roster?
What for Feila? I'd definitely have to say Joe. He's just consistent as a demo man. He's such a good main caller. I've had the opportunity to play with him in the past, and very, very good at main calling, in my opinion. I think he's only improved since I last played with him as well, and it's really showing. DM as well is just spot on. He knows exactly, and he's got perfect synergy with Layla as we do go live now. So maybe, what about you? You got any thoughts on star players for Tourettes Chessclub?
Yeah, I mean, chess is just kind of, it's such a weird roster. We have 40 seconds to kind of discuss this roster, which we probably should have put more in depth in. On Scout, we've got Olga. So normally it was supposed to be Tiger playing this season. He hasn't played so far in the regular season. Olga has been playing Soldier for them so far. He's now playing Scout. We have a Merc on Soldier, which is Wrath, who is, of course, high 6s champion. Pyro is Ascendary. Demo this time around is Maybe. This is the third different demo we've seen play for chess so far. First it was Eames. Last week it was Quintosh. Now we have Maybe. We have Kresnik on Heavy, Cobbs on Engineer, Nursey, formerly Premtech Medic, alongside Kresnik and Ascendary and Cobbs when they were runners-up in Prem a few seasons ago. She is here on Medic today, joining the roster yesterday. Ixie is playing Sniper after Nate left after Week 2 official, with Kazul returning on Spy. So a lot of changes on that roster, Chando. It's hard, but I think that combo of Ascendary, Kresnik and Nursey is going to be their strong point, and if they can kind of work well together like they used to, then that's where they're going to get their success here today, I think.
Absolutely. It's really just hoping that they can retain some of that synergy that they held in Premtech, and likewise some of the players from Tourettes Chessclub that have come back to make a reappearance, they can also hold their synergy as they take A point, and they are going to push through White Room here, wasting no time, locking off those spawn doors. Joe doing a good job of denying there, and now they're going to be pushing across, and no one's even really paying attention. They are slow to rotate, but Strone gets dropped, unfortunately, before Layla can pop the Uber there. It's going to go on to Poker here, and the counter comes out. This isn't looking too great. Poker's going to make a detour and sacrifice himself so that Layla can back out, and now he's going to go on to Joe. They are, however, getting a good amount of time onto E point there, but loads of players going down, and it looks like they're going to have to out there.
Yeah, I mean, Leda got taken down there by Kazul in the back line, so we do have a level 3 sentry from Zamperoni on E-point, and Crayon is just capping so much. No one's actually trying to stop him from doing it, and somebody needs to do something. I mean, Chessclub did really well there, defending the point for the time being. A sentry tries to jump on the point to physically block it, but that sentry from Zamp is just doing so much work. He's using the rescue engine, and finally Raph takes it down from the spawn, but Crayon is back on that point now. But Maybe is there with his stick. He's just trying to defend it as best he can. Poker and Layla are starting to push forward, but Olga takes him down with the help from Maybe. Does take down Layla as well. Ixie there with a body shot. So Feila here going really hard and just trying to go for this AE push. They're totally committing to it, but Layla has already died twice. Crayon is back on this point though, and Chando, that's the problem at the moment. If Crayon is just continuously getting this cap time, slowly but surely, he's actually going to finally get the point.
Absolutely. I mean, they are putting a lot of players onto stopping Crayon from capturing that point. He's only already got Zamperoni protecting him. He's going to offer a good opportunity for a B push now, and that looks like that's what they're going to be doing there. Poker and Strone already on that connector there. Joe's going to catch up, and they're going to start capturing the B point, so really not too bad at all there. Yeah, so I mean, they were able to get the B point, and maybe they're going to recommit for the E point with the improved spawns for them now. Yeah,
we just... Oh! a drop there. Cloudy came in through and Nursey goes down. First game of the season, first drop of the season already. And Zamperoni still has that level 2 sentry. Whoa, 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 what is going on here? Maybe and KritzKast combine into an absolute state of destruction to take down about 6 players. Absolute destruction there. KritzKast on a 7k there, Chando. Absolutely saving his team. I mean, I didn't give enough credit to Maybe there at the start when I talked about the strength of the Tourettes Chessclub combo, but he actually did amazing there as well. And the B point has gone down, 2 minutes and 35 seconds, but absolutely huge plays here from the Chess Club combo to just stop off this E point. All of that time on E is gone now, and they just have to defend C, and Crayon is trying again for this final cap here.
Absolutely, that was just insane DM and synergy coming in from KritzKast and Maybe there. It's really going to put a pin in the aggression that Feila had the potential for. So it looks like now they are just going to be holding in the BCE, but no one is really dealing with Crayon there. He is just going to be walking straight onto the point. Poker is watching from the D side. Meanwhile, Joe is locking down the BCE connectors along with Zamperoni, and now it's halfway there, and it really looks like this is going so well for them actually. He is just able to lock down every single choke there, and Crayon's not taking a single shred of damage, and it's just coming straight in, and it looks like this is going in favour of Feila and a really good time so far.
Yeah, Crayon is literally just running around on the point. Like, he hasn't actually to fight anything there. 4 minutes and 10 seconds is that was such an anticlimax after such a brilliant defense, but Feila just able to walk into E. Crayon has not had to do any fighting for the past 30 seconds. He's literally just stood on the point and capped it, while the rest of his team just blocked down the areas that were supposed to come in there. The BC connector, Joe, just sticking off, took down Maybe and KritzKast there earlier on to deny them even entering the E spawn area. And Poker and Layla were just controlling the high ground, which meant from the D spawn area, there was no way that they were going to get in that way. So, I mean, if the rest of your team is doing that, as a scout, you just kind of sit on the point and be like, hey, like I'm just going to get some free cap points here. But there we go. 4 minutes and 10 seconds for the first round coming out of Feila. For those of you who are new to Steel, who maybe don't really know in a map sense or even a competitive sense, team in blue has to set the fastest time possible, and then the teams swap around, and the opposing team has to try to beat that time. So Feila eSports have set a time of 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Tourettes Chessclub are now on the blue, and they will try to beat that time. If they don't beat that time, then Feila will take the first round. And beating that time, all you have to do is capture that E point. You don't need to capture all of the points. You can if you want, but you can head straight to E if you wish at any point during the map. And once again, we've just seen a kind of a default hold here, Chando, with Feila playing very aggressive on the B point.
Definitely, yeah, and I think there's a good chance that they're going to be committing to an E push there potentially. We're seeing more and more players coming onto A there, but it does look like they're putting a little bit of pressure onto B. I guess they're going to try maybe one push and see if it goes to their favour. If not, they're probably going to have to commit full time to A, just due to how quick Feila were able to capture the point there, as Joan gets sniped actually by Ixie. That's going to be a very good entry pick if they so desire it, as the banner comes out now, and they're able to take down a Sendry. The counter comes out, and Nursey is getting caught out. Then they can't really gain any space. They are going to go for a repush there with Maybe, but it's not going to be enough, I'm afraid. And KritzKast going to be starting to be pushing up. They've secured a little bit of a foothold. Definitely going to be a Poker. Insane. I think it was a 2 or 3k there, and now Joe's going to follow up there, and they're just absolutely pile driving into them. Nursey able to get out along with a Sendry. That's going to put a pin in their aggression.
Absolutely. I mean, Ixie did a great job there, getting the 2 early picks, one onto Cloudy, one onto Joe. If there's no sniper or demo, it's very, very easy for you to just walk in onto that B point. But there's some pressure going on here right now. Olga tries to get on the point, but the difference is he was pressured off with some damage there. We can see middle is on the spawn door, and he's just kind of flitting between B and E, and if there's anyone at E, he just throws a couple of rockets there, just forces them away. Kazul is cloaked in on the B point. Strinaway is trying to spy check as best he can, but it looks like Kazul is about to make a play here, maybe onto Zamperoni. He did bump him. I'm not sure if he's got seen. He gets for the sap. He tries to go for the engineer. Zamperoni does go down in the end, but there's so much damage coming elsewhere that so many players have died here from Chessclub. You could say that was a suicide wave. They've taken down the engineer, but they didn't even take down the sentry, Chando, so there's still a lot of work to do here and only 2 minutes to do it in.
Absolutely, and as Nursey gets almost to 100% Uber, we might be looking at a just like a straight push from Tourettes Chessclub, they are starting to pile in now. They've only got 1 minute 50, so they're really going to have to make something out of this. Cobbs gets taken out by Mignander, and they're starting to take as much space as they can. They've got to get on it, however. Attempted sap from the sentry there is going to be futile, however, and it looks like Feila for now are just going to be holding a good deal of space there as Kresny gets taken down by Cloudy. Cloudy, however, going down to Ixie here, so that might provide a foothold for Ixie to get further space onto B side. Slowly, though, Feila is getting backed out there. You can see they're slowly backing up, but the sentry still remains. Layla falling very weak, but she's going to be able to get a sandwich and back out. And now it does look like they are getting ready to back here. They're just playing the time game, I think, at this point, CeeJaey, with only 15 seconds left. It's going to be nigh on impossible.
Yeah, I mean, you basically got 70 seconds, and it takes 40 seconds for that final cap to go down. So they need to basically, in the next 20 seconds, get from the B point and get onto E. And, you know, Strenoate and Crayon are down, but they're not exactly the players you'd expect to be defending that E point. There is a sentry on the final point, but Raf is already there. He's spamming it, so Zamperoni is being kept busy for the time being here. He's going to be contested by middle now, and surely isn't going to win that fight with Strenoate also in company. But Strenoate does go down, so, I mean, that is something, but it's GG, as there's no time on the point. Ubers are exchanged. Poker gets a few more frags for the logs. And, that was it, really. I mean, I just think Feila at the start had a very clear plan. They were like, okay, we're capping A, and then we're going to AE, and then we may go and pressure B. Like, they seem to have a clear plan. And although they kind of just threw bodies at E after the first failed push, it seemed they had a clear strategy. They wanted to go for this AE push. Like, they really wanted to focus E. Whereas, I don't know, Chessclub kind of went into B, and when it wasn't working, they just kept doing the same thing. And with 4 minutes on the clock, you need to have a backup plan. You need to have, you know, you really need to kind of go balls deep and actually do something about it. And there wasn't really a sense of urgency there. But yeah, Feila taking that one. I mean, what did you see there, Chando? Like,
I mean, definitely just saw. I think it's a testament to Jones' main calling, partially. He had as you say, he had a clear plan in his head. And the ability to put that plan from your imagination onto the game board is gonna. It takes a lot of skill, and he knows exactly where his heavy, his flank. He knows where every player should be, and getting them to be able to do that, I think, is a huge skill within itself. Not even regarding his insane DM throughout that game, I'd say he's one of the star players. Just in terms of his ability to sort of enact a particular strategy, and it was a fairly complicated strategy. You know, he had every area locked down, and they just couldn't rotate or regroup in a way to start actually taking any space back and start putting damage onto the point that Crown was capturing. So I think a lot of it falls to him. He's a really, really star player this game.
Absolutely. I mean, the strongest classes I feel on Steel, you know, generally in Highlander, you talk about the sniper being the bottleneck. Like, if you have the better sniper, it's up to the other team to really do something to deal with you. I think, like, Demo and Soldier on Steel are the strongest classes. If your Demo is denying the choke where the enemy team's trying to come through, he can do so much damage, he can deny so much, and during pushes, he is so very important that, you know, you can absolutely destroy everything. Whereas the Soldier as well on the flank is basically the same thing. I mean, it's very hard for a scout to kind of fight in these tight corners at times, and a Soldier can really just basically hold down areas and really support the scout in getting those frags. So middle, you know, seemed to do a very solid job of just doing his job. Raf did as well. And, you know, Maybe and Joe coming up against each other both got some big plays there, but in the end it just seemed that Joe had the better of it and really locked down those spawns when it was necessary. So a quick first round there, going to Feila eSports, and this second round we're going to see the team swapped over. So Chessclub will be attacking first. They're in the blue, Feila in the red, and we'll swap round. And I mean, if Feila win this one, they're going to take it 2-0 and full 6 points. And really a lot of pressure on Chess here. Some new players, I mean, Nursi, Ixie, Maybe, all these guys playing their first game of the season for the team, Chando. So maybe it's a little bit of I don't know, maybe they're just kind of settling in. It's not really a good map to play your first official with the team in.
No, absolutely not. You know, you need to be well synced with your team, or at least well synced with your flank or your combo, depending on where you're playing. And I don't think they've got that, unfortunately, at least not to the same capability that Feila have. I mean, Feila have played a whole season in UGC already. With, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, the exact same roster. So they've already got this huge, they've already got about 10, 15 weeks, I think it is, that how long UGC stands for, of experience together, and you can clearly see that it's working for them, because the Kahit is so good. As we do maybe look at a B pusher, but Poker is going to be holding on that top balance, manages to take that. I think he does get busted off, however, by the Pyro, as we do looks like there might be a minor E push. I did see the scout Olga. There he is. He's now going to hop onto the point there, but he's getting spammed out by Include Middle and he's doing a fair job. So it just looks like they're just biding their time, waiting for a good opportunity. They're trying to get a good pick here, but they have wasted a fair amount of time here. It looks like they are going to be starting to walk up there. Olga, she gets taken down. Kazul as well. So they've got to really get some picks fast. Finally, Poker gets pushed down there. Joe falling very weak. Actually manages to survive, however, just in time. But now KritzKast's got the top ground here, and it looks like we might be able to see the opportunity for a push if they can get the picks.
I mean, exactly what you said there. There's a lot of time being wasted. On a map like this, it's stopwatch, it's all about the time. You know, and okay, so not really much going on. Kazul coming in for his trademark sap there. He does it so very often, and that sentry goes down, and Raf there taking down the sentry and thrown away. Cloudy is on the point there, still watching, gets backstabbed there by Kazul, who's starting to hang on, but Ubers are used. There's a much better Uber here for Nercy. She popped hers much later. Poker goes down, and this could look like a B point successfully capped here for Tourettes Chessclub, and that's definitely faster than their earlier attempt. And now if they get a bit of momentum, who knows what could happen, as Zamperoni, Poker and Cloudy are all down for the time being, but no, Strunaway comes in, takes down the Temo and the Heavy. It's KritzKast and maybe both going down. They do have faster respawns though, so they'll be up before their counterparts. Joe is trying to sticky up these doorways, but Chessclub finally maybe listening to you, Chando, and just thinking, to hell with it, let's just push in and see what happens.
Absolutely. I mean, they do have the D, despite this being a very heavy map that's like you surround synergy and your cohesion. The DM can still work in their favour, and you've seen that with some good plays there. Almost Layla falling to Kazul there does actually get picked out by Stronate, however, and at this point looks like they're going to be trying to pushing from B into C from the top area. Poker, however, getting some really good pick there as Joe jumps in, manages to get one, takes down Ixie. And he takes down maybe as well Crayon, falling in and taking Olga, but to reflect onto Joe. Cuts his life short a little bit. However, Cloudy able to get a pick onto a Sentry now. They have just fallen back. They are just going to be holding C. Now it's up to Tourettes Chessclub to work out how they want to take this one. They've got to regroup a little bit. Looks like maybe he's just about to respawn here. And now looks like they might be piling into BCE connector as being led by KritzKast. He's just scouting the perimeter there, making sure that there's no one going to be hiding away in BCE, and they have fallen back now onto C point, and it looks like maybe now committing to a E push here as Olga and Raf play on the point there, and no one's able to rotate. Finally, Joe actually pulls the rotate there, but he's falling very weak there. Surprised he hasn't actually gone down yet, falling down to 3 health, but he's actually going to be able to get out here with his life, and it looks like they might be committing further to that push there. They've got about a quarter of it, so it's going to be another 30 seconds or so, but Feila are now aware, and they are going to be putting down severe damage onto that E point there, and it looks like now Tourettes Chessclub have used the opportunity to take C, which I think is a really smart play actually, CeeJaey.
It is. It's the old bait and switch. Go for E, force the rotate from the defending team, and then just go for C. It's a really smart play. The thing about C, once you've capped that, your spawns on the attacking team are basically instantaneous, and for the defending team, it forces them to around a 20-second respawn, because every capture point you get, it just increases the enemy team's respawn, and it also extends those bridges out on the final point, so it gives more access to a lot of players getting on that point. You can see KritzKast and maybe are pushing into E already. Cloudy is there, and he's trying his best to get some snipes down, but he's taking a lot of damage, runs away, has to back out, get that health pack. And Zamperoni is dead again, so he's not going to really get a sentry going on. Cloudy is watching through the window. Olga is trying to get some capture point time on E, but it does look like Chessclub are in the ascendancy here. They're getting onto E. They're getting a lot of pressure. Cobbs' sentry does go down though. So that's not going to be able to help them defend that E point. But basically, a little ball there. Sandman, haven't seen that used for a while. And there is defense coming out from Feila. They are holding into the white room and just peeking out through this this A side door, trying to get some spam onto the point, and it prevents people from getting on there. They are 5 up, but it may look bad for them. They're in control. They have an Uber. They can use it if they need to. Ixie is up in the window, and he can get some snipes onto E spawn. He can actually look down there. I'm not sure if he knows the sightline. And he does. He takes that poker. So there we go. And Chessclub starting to look a bit better as they're on D now, Chando.
Yeah, I was going to say, really, the benefit of holding in that white room is that you can quickly rotate to D if need be. But I think they didn't react to it quick enough here. It looks like they're just going to give it up due to a lack of players. And they are going to be holding in white room still, just awaiting now this E push here. It's a good place to hold, really. Pretty good cover, and you can quickly pass the point. Good spam, as Joe actually showing, putting out some good spam onto E point there. Uber's going to come out as Tourettes Chessclub combo push from D into white room here. They're putting out really good damage, actually. And unfortunately, Layla's going to get isolated. Joe as well. Joe almost getting the kill onto Nursey, actually. Goes falling very weak, but Poker's going to fall in as well and actually finish the job up. He's getting so many kills, takes down Nursey, takes down KritzKast as well. And now potential for Feila. Well, they've got quite a lot of respawns, but they did actually manage to hold that off quite well here.
Yeah, they got respawns on some important classes, and they're coming up now. And that's the thing, when you get trades as the attacking team, you get the benefit of getting back into the action quicker. As we see Cobbs and Raf here picking up some key frags. And it does look like Chessclub should be able to capture this point now. There's only 4 players for the defending side, but they're not getting any cap time on E, and like we said, it takes a while for that cap to go down, so they need to start getting pressure on it. They have control of white room, they've just got nobody on E, and Crayon is just again chilling on E. This time he's defending. He's actually trying to fight this time, and he's up against Raf. Raf going down to 69 HP. Has to back off to the health back there just to keep himself alive and in the fight. And this is really odd. I mean, Chessclub are in control. They have control of the key areas. They're just not getting any pressure on the E point. They have every other point. They don't need to contest Feila at D, which is what they're doing right now. And finally, KritzKast and Kazul get on the point to maybe initiate that cap time. Uber is used by both teams in white room, and Nursey once again has the better Uber as she popped later and flashed less. Zamperoni is dead, so no sentry. There is a conch coming out, and maybe this is the chance for Feila to try and block this point. KritzKast is left alone there. He goes face to face with the spy, and he gets shanked, but Layla goes down to Raf. This is just a bit of a mess, if I have to say so, Chando.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know why Chessclub spent so long in white room. They used their Uber, and then they actually backed out into the left, back to A a little bit. Instead of maybe committing and taking the risk of just trying to move on to E, sorry. Half of them, their flank was on there, but the flank wasn't able to get anything done. But maybe with Bo backing them up, it could have gone away. So quite surprising that they aren't committing to it enough, and they are just holding in this white room. I suppose they want to get some key picks first, but Joe is holding it down really well there. Poker actually now with a 4K takes down KritzKast, and loads of kills coming in favour of Feila eSports. So they're just able to hold in this white room, and until Tourettes Chessclub actually start committing to the point rather than committing to white room, I don't think they're going to be doing it too well.
Yeah, I mean, Magnando there got a backstab onto Nursey, so there is an advantage for Layla in the Uber stake. She's at 60% right now. Nursey's only at 25. And I have to credit Raf. Raf has been doing a great job. He's been hassling and he's been killing. He was on an 8 kill streak earlier on. He's just taken down Cloudy, so that's sniper advantage once again. Enchi's down, middle is down as well. So Feila, they're bleeding players all the time, but Chessclub aren't taking advantage from it, and it's really odd. You just need to get somebody on the point and cap, and the rest of you block off the area where the enemy team are. And right now they're all just huddled on B and kind of waiting to maybe push in together. I don't know, but now she's about to get her charge, and it is in fact still a medigun being used, so it is going to be Uber versus Uber any moment now, as Layla and Joe are lurking by this doorway, maybe ready to until they've got a little bit on her. But KritzKast is we got to pause here. I was going to say KritzKast getting baited, just left on the point by himself, goes down to 45 HP. Luckily those fists of steel coming in handy, and the Ixie coming to the rescue to get a headshot onto Crayon. But yeah, I was going to say, Chessclub looks so good. They finally captured the B point after a couple of minutes, started to roll and looked in control of the game, but this E point is just proving a little bit troublesome for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just need. It's as simple as they need to be committing a little bit more to their push. I just can't see why they're not. I think they're finally starting to push a little bit now from BCE, which is good. As KritzKast walks onto the point. Unfortunately, no one else was, however, maybe actually playing on E as well, locking off that white room connector. But, yeah, I mean, they need to make something of it quickly. The time is dwindling for them, and it's not going to be great, especially if Feila can really create their successful push that they did last round there. So it's really good. I mean, they've got to make something of it soon, in my opinion, for this to still have a realistic outcome. But we are going to go. Are we going to go live?
I think it's just an unpause, repause, just to let whoever it is time out back into the server.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully within the next few seconds we are live again. But I totally agree with what you said. You know, you've when you attack first, if you don't set a fast time, it just gives you so much time to play with on the defense. For the other team who's currently on the defense. They are picking up frags now, but Joe blocking that point as best he can. Cobbs has a level 2 in the BC connector, but everyone's peed on. Here comes Joe. Can he get some big damage down? No, Raf is dominating Cloudy meantime as he continues to pressure the flank and just make sure there isn't space for any sniping coming in. And finally, maybe he's getting into position to try and block this doorway, but once again, there's nobody on the point. There's literally nothing stopping you from getting on the point. The Uber is used in such an awful position. It's a heavy Uber. KritzKast's just kind of chilling around. We've got heavy versus heavy Uber, and this is just really odd decision making from me. It's really Joe's getting aggressive here, and you see Joe. The difference is he's taking initiative right now as Middle manages to take down that sentry gun as well as the engineer himself. We've only got a few minutes left to go, and this is when pressure starts to come on. I mean, the pressure is relieved a bit as Ixie gets a body shot onto Layla, so maybe this is the time for Chessclub to finally seal it down.
Definitely, and now I guess Nursey can onto that 60% advantage there, and if they can just hold off now. Crown is going to come in there, going for the pick, and he gets it. Really nice there with a huge rotation from Crayon, and it paid off. Now Layla's going to hold back onto that Uber, but they've got to make something of it quickly. They're piling onto point with a ×5, and now they've really got to move in here. However, it's going to be Kazul that actually gets the pick back onto Layla again. Finally, there are some kills onto the medics there, and that's what's going to be changing up the game now as they start collapsing onto the point here. Olga's going to fall in as the scout. They've got it about halfway. The mini sentry's up there. However, it's going to be McNander that gets the stab onto a Sendry, but is it going to be enough? Joe is pushing in from BCE. He's going to get caught out by KresNik, however, and Crayon's going to have to back up, falling very weak. Now they've got to commit someone back onto the point, and that's going to be Olga. And now it does look like this in favour. They've only 3 up for Feila, and maybe doing a good job at just holding off the respawners there. And yeah, that's going to be it, I do believe. Zampa only making one last attempt, but it's not going to be enough. And that's going to be it in is that 12 minutes, 9 seconds?
Yeah, that's what I see.
That's not great, but no, I'll be honest, it isn't great.
Yeah, I mean, we just have to say it how it is. 4 minutes we saw earlier on Feila cap on their attacking phase. They've basically got 3 times that amount of time to try and make an E cap here. I would argue that Chess have probably got, they're warmed up now, so they're going to have a bit of a better time defending, but yeah, 12 minutes is not, it's nowhere near an average time. That is a long time. You never want to see double figures on a steel phase, but it is still holdable. I mean, you could see some sort of really strong hold on B or E if Feila fail a push too many times, but like I said, it gives them so much time to play with. I don't know why they didn't just put anybody just on the point earlier on. Anybody, even the scout, so somebody on the point just to stand the point, because when you don't have anyone pressuring that point and all you're doing is fighting the combo, the enemy combo is happy with doing that. There is no distraction for them. If you have somebody on the point, it forces at least one player from your team defending to move away from that fight to have to deal with the capturing. And if you've got nothing distracting you from doing that, you just have a 9v9 fight. And it seemed really odd that it took so long for Chess to finally get around to doing that, but they have to defend this for 12 minutes. They cannot let that E point go down for 12 minutes. Of course, they can block it for 8.5 minutes on B point, but it's very, very difficult to do that on Steel. But we'll see if it can be done, Chando. Otherwise, Feila are going to be taking away 2-0. And again, we just see this sort of this default aggressive hold on B, and I think I see Feila moving towards E.
They are indeed, yes, pushing into White Room, literally 9 players, I do believe, moving in there, not wasting any time. They spy Kazul going for a stab, it actually falls back to try and take down Cloudy. He does take down Cloudy, however, going down to Crayon here, and it's going to be the standard thing that we saw last time. Counter Uber from Chess Club onto the Pyro there. But they didn't really make much of it. They are starting to pile in now with Ixie trying to line up a shot there. See slow things down. They got to be getting onto point here. And it's going to be Crayon. He's actually starting to hold down some time onto the E point here, trying to basically recreate what they did last time. And it worked so well. However, Joe is going to go down, maybe putting out stickies onto the point there. That's going to hold things big time. However, it's going to be Stronate that just walks in and WM1s his way to taking down maybe. That's a game changer, CeeJaey, as Crayon just gets back onto the point like nothing even happened. Now they're holding it down, and it's about halfway gone, looking very promising for Feila. You've got that level 3 getting set up. You've got Cloudy sniping the respawn doors, and you've got locking down. Now, if only we can get Joe back in here, we might be able to see a solid aggressive push there. But Joe's going to be pushing into B, actually. I think he's trying to distract as best he can. However, it's going to be maybe that takes him down. But they're back on point. They're not wasting any time. Crayon is hit, and he's almost doing a good enough job, but he's going to have to back out. Just can't pump enough damage onto that connector.
Or maybe he's going to get caught out here. He was doing so well, but gets caught out by the conch, and there's an Uber used by onto middle, as well. And the Ubers are going to be traded. It's not going to achieve anything, really, other than a bit of a distraction for some more space being taken. Zamperoni, once again, has that level 2 sentry up, watching the point. Crayon takes a flare, manages to survive, but Olga does go down. Sorry, Olga takes down Layla. Joe goes down as well to the rockets of Raph, so Crayon is going to get onto that point, just trying to get as much cap time as he can, and he's taking flares and he's taking damage. Does go down to Ixie, so 5 players left alive for Chess Club here, but they slowly but surely kind of slipping their fingers back onto this match. Poker may go down here. He's so very weak, so is Strano, and Olga wins that fight. He's going to take a drink as well of some bonk and come back in and see what else he can do. He sees Poker there. Not sure if Poker even saw the scout, and Olga may come in here, try to get a frag maybe. No, it doesn't look like he wants to. But Feila just taking away their attention from the E point for the time being to take over B. And they still got just under 9 minutes to go before they have to capture that E point. But I have to say, the thing is, when you go for the AE push, your spawns on the attacking team are not very good. So, you know, it gives the enemy team more time to go in. But McNando, another shank there to take down maybe. Kazul tries to equalize things up by taking down Strano 8, but Cloudy winning a sniper battle to take down Ixie. A lot of stuff going on, but hey, guess where Crayon is? He's on the E point, just pressuring it. And we see somebody else, McNando, just somebody on that C point, distracting Chess Club. And they have to make a rotation here, Chando, because if they don't, then he's going to get capped. And it seems they're being very slow to react to this.
Yeah, it looks like that Feila is just taking the same approach they did on the first round there, sort of taking the A points, going into E, and then doing a quick rotation onto B there without any difficulty. Now they've reset back up. They've got it's actually going to be middle. Look at where he is. He is ready to take down the medic. In fact, he is going to get it. In fact, that's insane. That's a drop for Nursey and an Uber from Layla. So it's going to equalize things more or less, but still a really sick play there. And Crayon's going to get back onto point now. The jump in from Raph, trying to put the spam out. Crayon is eager to get the damage back out. However, Layla going down to a Sendry. They're also taking down Joan. Kresnik taking down Zamperoni as well, and a Sendry also taking down McNando. So loads of frags coming in for Chess Club. You can definitely tell that they've warmed up a little bit, and I think it's really showing. They've got a potential to hold this with 7 minutes 20 left. Maybe Feila, might have to recommit to just a standard stock push. God knows they should try and do it once in a while.
Absolutely. I mean, they have a lot of time to play with. It's basically 7 minutes to go. If they capture the E point now, it's fine. But Cloudy there winning back the sniper battle, but Crayon is going to fall into the pit. That sentry is up from Cobbs, and it is watching that point now. Another casualty to the pit is Raph. So the pit is claiming some souls today. Cloudy is in a nice position. He's got a mini sentry for protection, and he's trying to get some pressure, but Strono 8 is going to get onto the point now as Crayon is dead. Big jump from middle to try and take down the sentry. The sentry takes him down as it's now upgraded to a level 2, and Cobbs is going to win the Engie battle by taking down Zamperoni with that level 2. And Feila here, they had a strategy, and I'm not quite sure what they're doing, but Strono 8 with the flames takes down Nursey. That is another medic kill. And it's going to be a huge advantage here for Feila. Kresnik's also going to go down, losing that heavy fight to Poker. And we see the C cap going now, Chando. I mean, Feila have decided just to go back to normality and try to capture the other points. C gives them so much more access, so much better control of the map once they do it, and it's going to be hard for Chessclub to do it, but they really need to kind of get a white room hold going on, and it's still doable. It's still doable, but with 4 players alive right now and a couple on a 20-second respawn, it's going to be very, very difficult.
Definitely, that full Uber advantage as well is going to be pretty powerful there. The Uber actually getting popped off onto Poker, managed to take down KritzKast, and they're just going to pile on to D point. Some contests from maybe and his medic, but it's going to be difficult. He can't get the sideline to put out some consistent damage. It's getting blocked off by Poker. Olga just going in with the bonk. Not sure what his plan is here. I don't know if he thinks he's going to get out alive on this one. Actually managed to take down Poker, so I take that all back. And Raf also taking down Layla. So it's going to be a huge game changer, but while I say this, Joan and Stronate piled onto the E point with Cloudy, protects them as best as they can, and it's going to be, oh, there it is, another pit kill onto Kazul as well, so they've had to take a hold back now, and it's just going to be working out where Feila wants to push from. They've got both capture points half done, so wherever they push from, they're going to have a serious advantage in terms of time. Looks like they're going to be pushing onto E there, but they're getting spammed out. It's going to be maybe from the white room connector and some damage as well from there. And he's now on a 5k, taking down Zamperoni as well before going down himself to Joe on the respawn. Joe falling very weak. But it's everything's in disarray from both teams right now, and I don't think either is doing a particularly good job at regrouping or restabilizing and doing more with their pushes. Olga comes in from the white room, actually manages to take down Joe to another great kill. And yeah, it's still anyone's game, honestly. Like they don't have as much time as they think now. Down to 4 minutes. They are piling onto the point, however. Strono and Zamperoni, so now it's just a matter of time. If they can lock down the white room as well, they should have a good chance of securing this.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of time on the point already, and it's going to take time for the respawns to come round, and they are getting fragged, though. It does look like Feila eSports are going to take this in 2 rounds. They have ×5 on the point, and they do take it. I mean, that chaos, it was chaotic for the past 3 minutes there. Feila eSports maybe just lapsed in concentration and lost focus. With that amount of time you've got, you feel that you can make mistakes and things kind of loosen up a little bit, but that chaos is always going to benefit the attacking team because your spawns are so much faster. If you come in and there's just a massive DM fest and you lose 4 players but you kill 3, that's still a huge advantage because you're going to respawn straight away. The enemy team's not going to respawn for 20 seconds. And Feila just basically just kind of a brick wall, like coming up against Chessclub there and just hammered their way through in the end. And Chessclub looked like they were starting to get into it. Maybe if we'd gone to a 3rd round, they would have taken that. But at the end of the day, it's a best of 3, and if you win the first 2, you're going to take home all the points, Chando. So yes, Feila there 6-0, and they take another 6 points. They're going to be up to 12 points. Chessclub, after 3 weeks, still going to be only on 2. I mean, who do you think? You talked about Joe at the start there after the first round. What do you think it was in the end that was the difference between Feila and Chess tonight?
I think, I mean, as I said before, and I will say it again, Joe, his DM and his strategy and his ability to main call his team and control his team and work out how to make an effective push and putting that into practice as well, I think takes an incredible amount of work. So I definitely give the MVP status to Joe. As well as that, I'd say Crayon. Now, you may be thinking, like, okay, if you look at the logs, 75 DPM, but his just commitment to just holding them in there was essentially what won them the first round. He was really good at maneuvering and choosing when to back off the point to get health or to regroup. And yeah, I think he did a really good job as well. Not in terms of logs particularly, but just in terms of how he applied himself to the strategy that Joe wanted. So you can tell that like Joe's created this very well-established, well-cohesive team, and I'm sure he's got to be proud of because it's winning games pretty decisively, and they've put them in a really good position for the playoff spots of this season.
Definitely. I mean, the first logs there actually was Ixie who top fragged. I have to say, did very well playing sniper on a map that's not traditionally associated with sniper, but it was such a short round. It was just basically 10 minutes. It's very, very difficult to kind of draw any sort of information from logs in a round that is so short as that. The second round, of course, 23 minutes, slightly longer. And we see Raf there actually top frag with 22. I do have to say he did very well. For a player that, it's his first game playing Soldier, he was murking today for chess. So, to come on a map like Steel, he knew what his job was. He kept pressure on the right plate pool. He took down Cloudy a lot. And I think he got quite a few med picks as well. We do see Joe and Streno8 there with 21 kills apiece, and then we have the Demo and Pyro combo for Chess, Maybe and Ascendary both getting 20 each as well. So I mean, just behind them as well, and they died less. So it does kind of raise questions that the combo of Chess was doing fairly strongly as well. The damages are pretty much the same for both players. But in the end, it's just about where you get that damage, and I do think in their attacking phase on that second round, Chess didn't focus that E point enough. Even if they just had one or two players just putting a little bit of pressure on there, they would have got a much faster time. That was potential for them to get that in 7 or 8 minutes, but it just kind of slipped through their fingers there and allowed Feila to have a much easier time.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it was a real shame to see. I mean, I don't know whether that would have been enough to secure the victory, but it's still questionable decision making from their team. So that's something they think they might have to be working on if they are continuing to stay as a team for future seasons. Definitely some main call. Maybe it was a main calling problem, or maybe it was just getting the team into the right positions and just kind of understanding how they want to approach the point. But yeah, a real shame to see there. Big shout out as well to the Pyros actually doing a lot of work kill wise. Strone going in 21-19 with Ascendra going in 22-11. So some serious frag potential from both Pyros there. So that's quite nice to see. And Poker as well. 19-14 with some pretty good damage as well. 384. So that combined with Joe's 453 DPM it's quite significant. I think that's why they were able to aggress through choke points, just pumping out that damage together. So really well played by both of them as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always nice to see which players are performing well, but as always, I think the team performance by Feila, they just looked more cohesive as a unit. On their attacking stage, they just seemed to have a more concrete plan as what they wanted to do compared to Chess. Chess did start to kind of warm to it in the end, but maybe it was too early for all of these changes, which, I don't want to call it a mixed team, that would be unfair, but there was 4 or 5 players here who haven't really played with the team a lot, so very difficult. So yeah, I mean, that was the game. Feila eSports taking it 2-0 against Chessclub, so that's 6 points for them, 0 for Chess. 2 more weeks to go for these two teams to try and get into the playoffs or avoid relegation, depending on which kind of end of the table they end up going. Chando, before we disappear, do you have any shout-outs?
No, I don't actually know. No, yeah, nothing really to say. I mean, big shout out obviously to KritzKast for keeping up their good work. Wiethoofd for being consistent amongst the other producers and the casters. It's good to see that we are consistently producing Highlander action. But that's really about it. And thank you very much for taking the time to watch us.
Absolutely, and I have to do a big shout out for Chando for being very ill today, guys. I want your feels. Yeah, your feels good, man. It didn't sound, you've been sounding perfectly fine. Your casting has been top notch as always, my friend. So don't worry about it. But I hope you get better soon. It seems to be a bit of a caster flu going around. There's a lot of people dropping off with illnesses. So yeah, I hope you get better soon. And thank you for joining me today. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for watching, guys. We do have more casts coming up. There is, of course, the Sixes lower bracket final going on right now, if you want to watch that between Lego and Ascent. But for Highlander, we have another cast coming on Sunday. There are 2 games going on, Envision versus SCCK. Looks like the game that will be casted. If it's not that one, it will be Lucrosa versus Strong Opinions, but I do believe it's going to be Envision versus SDCK to see which one of those teams is going to take the points on their match on CP Steel. Another shout out has to go to the Heels for Reels. It is a charity event organised by Xtine for Cornish Game Hen. It's going to be on KritzKast on December the 9th and the 10th. It will start around 9 a.m. at PST, which is 6 p.m. CET for all of us Europeans out there. There's going to be some various celebrities. Of course, TF2 celebrities, don't expect Brad Pitt. And Twitch Plays Monopoly with a TF2 Monopoly game. There's going to be prizes provided by USAopoly. So if you want to check that out, guys, please do. It's always nice that TF2 community supports charity so much. And hopefully you've checked out the Patreon already. Somewhere for you to support not only KritzKast, but the casters themselves and the production team who put a lot of time and effort into organising these casts. I don't know the first thing about HUDs or changing things that people do in the background, but they do it and they do it very, very well. So if you want to support those guys financially, there is a Patreon for you to check it out. KritzKast has set that up recently. But to you guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been the Week 3 game. Feila eSports winning 2-0 against Tourettes Chessclub to take all the points home. We have been KritzKast, and we'll see you next time on Sunday.